Well, 2023 has been a wild year in the bees, and y'all see me on social media doing bee removal nonstop. And this is the source of my bees that I take out and put on ag property, and I don't document that so much. So I wanted to share a little bit about that process. This is what my yards look like. And then the upshot of all this hard work is honey harvest. Is something I really enjoy doing at the end of June, early July. This is this year's harvest. We pull frames, and this is what it looks like in the honey house. This year, I did a massive upgrade of my equipment from Maxant Industries in Massachusetts. It's good, American-made, stainless steel, last many lifetimes type of product for honey extraction. This is my chain uncapper. I'm a big fan. Instead of using a serrated knife or a scraper, I use that chain uncapper. It dips the frames and removes that capping. Here I'm checking to make sure the cappings are off and that those frames are, that those cells are open, and then putting it in the extractor, the centrifuge, the spinner. So this really expedites the process. Repetitive use injury is a real problem in beekeeping, and so I'm trying to save my old man hands and speed things up. And this year I added an uncapping spinner underneath the uncapper, and that saves me from having to strain all that wax. So here is the extractor full of frames. I get it spinning. That's going to spin the honey right off those frames, and then the honey will go into the clarifier. But here is the uncapper. Here is my senior uncapping spinner, which I love. It separates the wax from the honey, and then you get the honey just spilling out of there, and the wax you can remove from that centrifuge. This is my clarifier, which I adore. Again, removing wax with these baffles so the wax rises to the top and then doesn't pass through these steel baffles. Then I take and pump it. I use a Maxant pump the honey up into my holding tank. From here, it's going to get one final strain through a simple sieve, a two-tiered sieve, to get all the little parts and junk out of it, and then have good, beautiful, raw honey. Unfiltered. It's strained, but unfiltered. That filtration is that dirty word in honey. Beautiful harvest this year. Really good stuff. I fill these buckets. They're food-grade buckets. Fill them up, and then I can store that and jar them up in time. I'll tap a lid on there and keep this honey at room temperature. This is a lot of work. It's tiring. This stuff's heavy, and I do it usually late into the night. It's a busy time of year, but there's a happy beekeeper ready to roll with the next step, which is jarring it up. This is the fun part. I get the family involved. I clean out that tank of any wax, and then I'll pump the filtered honey back up into it, and then I just fill my jars. This year, we're not going to be at the farmer's market. Just too much going on. We're going to be selling from our doorstep here in New Braunfels. So if you're in New Braunfels or surrounding areas, you can call or text to arrange porch pickup. And stay tuned for announcements as we build our bee company out in New Berlin. It's going to be an exciting year. But come spring, we'll have a place you can come and pick up your good raw honey and beekeeping equipment and all kinds of good stuff at Charlie Bee Company in New Berlin, Texas. So please stay with us and come visit in the spring.